What's up everybody, and welcome to another collectibles guide here on Cloak Reaper Games. Today we'll be getting all the collectibles in Golem, an amazing PSVR game that I absolutely loved. Before we get started, I recommend using this guide after beating the game, so you have all the masks and all areas are unlocked, so you can just go in and grab the collectible you need. Just play through and enjoy the game, grabbing any collectibles you find along the way. Once you're done, come back here and use the timestamps in the description to find your last missing collectibles. So we're going to clear the game in two halves. First we'll get every collectible from the entire first area of the city, including the insides of all doors except for the tide door. Once we've found everything on this side of the city, we'll go through the tide door and get all the collectibles from that side. With 200 collectibles to find in an open world, trying to figure out which echo is which type so you guys can find the ones you need easier, and over 15 hours of editing, this was a ton of work and no small task. So please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you always get notified when I upload new videos just like this one. Before I go, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Perk Games for supplying me with a review key for Golem. Anyway, I hope this helps you out. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I knew the Endless City like my own backyard. It was just a game. Search the ruins, hide from the Silent Watch, bring home treasures. When I was your age, it was just your grandmother and me, living on a farm, far from town. I learned to ride a golem almost before I could walk. I guess I can't blame them. There is something scary about a little girl playing with 12-foot stone giants like dolls in her dollhouse. I had to be taught to hide my gift, that others might fear us, even hate us. Even back then, the wardens were always searching for dreamers. We're going to play a game. These iron cages are called echoes. A dreamstone can send your thoughts, but echoes can hold them. When you listen to one, it's like my thoughts are coming back to you. But I don't want to make it easy, so I'm going to hide the echoes all over. When you find one, I'll teach you more about being a dreamer, so keep looking. I guess that's why they call them echoes. I never thought about it before. In the days of the first dreamer, they were used to send important messages. But now there's no one to send them to. I was taking a load of relics to sell at the market. It was mostly junk, but I had hidden a spell spindle inside an old lamp. It would sell for enough to feed us all winter. Of course, I ran into a group of wardens coming back from patrolling the barrier, and, of course, they searched my wagon. They used to confiscate any loose bronze or obsidian, lining their own pockets in the name of the king. Where did I live? What was my name? The whole time, just holding the lamp and watching me. One of them picked up the lamp and started asking questions. Where did I find it? Where was I going with it? What did I think it would sell for? before. You're going to have to fight. The Silent Watch aren't quick, but they are tenacious. Be patient, defend yourself, watch for your opening, then strike. I thought I was going to get arrested, but then he just handed back the lamp with a smile and said, "Nice to meet you, River. My name is Scratch. Maybe I'll see you around." And that is how I met your father. When you are in the dream, you can tell when a golem is vulnerable because you'll see it turn to crystal. That is when you should attack. We were married in the summer, and then we had you, and then Twine, and for a while we were very happy. Your father was no fool. He knew I was a dreamer. I don't know what he thought about it because he never told me, and I was afraid to ask, even when we got engaged. It was the spring after your grandmother died. We were sitting on a flat rock overlooking the city, sharing some figs. He told me he was resigning from the Wardens. Your reflexes should be faster than theirs. Block their attacks, throw them off balance, then hit them when the time is right. Then I took my dreamstone out of my pouch and gave it to him. I didn't say anything. I was afraid of what he might do. But he just nodded and put it away. And that was that. He said it lightly, like he was pointing out a face in the clouds. But I knew it was hard for him. He was taking a risk. We sat there for a while, not talking. The barrier is like a wall that goes around the whole city. It's higher than you can climb and deeper than you can dig. Remember what happened to your friends, Ivy and Sandal. I know it's sad, but you need to understand. What we are doing is serious. Dreaming can be dangerous, Sky. You need to be careful. Rule 1. Always keep a safe distance from the barrier. And only dream during the day. You can't risk stumbling into it in the dark. Rule 2. Don't let anyone catch you dreaming. When you send your thoughts to a golem, you can lose track of what is around you, and who is around you. Most people don't even believe in dreamers anymore, but that doesn't mean they're going to be happy to catch you building golems and waving a dreamstone around. So only in our house or in the hills near the city, but nowhere else. Just because the king sent the wardens south doesn't mean no one is watching. We needed money, and you know how I feel about gardening, so one day I was under the house looking for something valuable to sell when I found it. My dreamstone. I always assumed he turned it in, but he kept it safe. For me. Remember, any artifacts you collect will be in the workshop. If you need them, you'll have to return there. Keep an eye out for masks. A golem wearing a mask can open doors and enter more of the city. Then we'll sift out the relics that are useful for making new golems, and sell the rest. Nobles are crazy for dreamer artifacts. Makes them feel like rebel lords. Even after centuries of neglect, there are some doors that will not open. Unless they like what they see. People fear the flux of rust, but they don't need to. Death closes the circle. If nothing ends, nothing can begin. You're from the flux of flame, obviously. All energy and action with no thought to the consequences. Sound familiar? You get it from your father. Every person follows one of the 4 fluxes. I'm drawn by the flux of tide. Deep mysteries and deep thoughts. So when you find something useful or valuable, weapons, crystals, whatever, just point your dreamstone at it to bring it through the barrier and into the workshop. Rule 3. Your dreamstone links you to your golem, but it also links the golem to our workshop. Your father wouldn't have approved. But he got himself captured in the Reaches and didn't leave us much choice. We dream or we starve. The year after Twine was born, the king's father was assassinated. Well, I guess he was the king then, but the king we have now was his son. Anyway, they said it was poison, which meant it was the rebel lords from the southern reaches. Scratch swore to me that he hadn't volunteered, that the war was starting again, and they didn't give him a choice. We had one last week together, before he was sent south. And then I was alone, with you and a baby to care for. And then I found a second one. He must have lifted it from a Warden vault. I never would have expected him to do such a thing. His honor was so important to him. But I guess you were more important. But I didn't use them. I respected our deal. Not when money was tight, not when we had to sell your grandmother's farm. Not until the war started going badly. Not until we found out that your father's garrison had been ambushed. Not until they told us he wouldn't be coming home. The very next day, I was in the garden, trying to get something to grow, when I saw him again, coming up the road to our house. Even back then, your father was a big man, very strong. And, believe it or not, he had long, wild hair. I started thinking maybe I could bribe him instead. But then he took off his hat and just started blathering. My first thought was to make a run for it. But by that time your grandmother was ill, and I couldn't leave her. Besides, he was alone, and my trowel had an edge to it. So, I stood my ground and waited. Hello, River. Sorry to bother you. My name is Scratch. We met yesterday. I was wondering, would you like to, if you haven't eaten yet, would you go for a picnic? With me? Someday? This afternoon? I was so relieved that he hadn't come to arrest me, I said yes. Well, of course I had to. It was either that or bury him next to the carrots. But if you ever find a crystal urn, leave it alone. Some artifacts are too dangerous even for us. Only one person followed all of the four fluxes: tide and storm, flame and rust. She was her own circle. She was the first dreamer. Twine. I'm not sure which of the four fluxes Twine will follow. Storm, maybe. I hope so. The storm brings the land new life. I thought I was so clever, so daring. Who would suspect a warden's sweetheart of smuggling illegal artifacts? I was bringing in so many I had to find new buyers. Besides, he was easy to look at, and very kind, not like the others. He was even charming in his own way. It was months before I realized I had actually fallen for him. I started to feel guilty about using him, so I stopped bringing in new artifacts. Grandmother and I had sold most of what we had anyway. Turns out it was a good thing, because several of our... closest I had ever come to getting caught. Luckily, the Wardens never traced the artifacts to us. Or maybe it wasn't luck. Maybe I wasn't the only one playing a game. With practice, it's possible to transfer your thoughts from one golem to another, or even to a doll. Golems come in many sizes, you know, and bigger isn't always better. Before the circle was broken, before dawn and dusk, before the spring and fall, before mortals could dream. A girl was born with a light in her hand, and when she slept, she followed her light and found the gate to the world of dreams. And when she returned, the four fluxes were split. The sun turned in the sky, and water flowed from the mountains to the sea. And the first dreamer made keys for the gate to the world of dreams, and gave them to her daughters. All the Dreamstones were made by the first Dreamer, but many of them have been lost or destroyed. Before she left, she taught the dreamers how to make bridges through the dream, for their thoughts, their wishes, their commands. In the dream, you are just your thoughts. You must stay focused, or you may drift apart and lose yourself. It's best not to stay for too long. After a time, the dreamer's daughters saw that the circle had been broken, that the four fluxes were pushing against each other, and the people were divided. For a time, the Golems brought peace. They built the Endless City as a beacon to the world. There was culture and art and order. For a time. So they made golems. Golems of all sizes and shapes. Some as small as a dune bug, some as tall as a tower. They covered this entire valley in a crystal shroud, a wall of protection that nothing living may pass. That's what we call the barrier. They sent them out, a sweeping storm to guide the people, to help, but also to control, to rein in the chaos of destruction. For the first time, the Dreamers started to arm their golems. They created the Silent Watch to protect what had been gained. Peace brought prosperity, but not for all. The people feared the golems, and the Dreamers were scorned by those they were trying to help. Scorn became hate. Hate and rebellion. Even so, the Dreamers could have destroyed them. It was in their power, but not without bloodshed. So instead, they withdrew into the city. But it made things worse, more violent. The 5 princes rose up, and the people rallied to their banners, the largest army that had ever taken the field. Or at least that's what your grandmother told me when I was your age. The siege of the Endless City lasted 100 years, until everything was overgrown and forgotten. The Dreamers continued to withdraw. They left this world of strife and retreated into the dream, embracing the immortality of sleep. Forgotten by the people that rejected them. Nothing remains but whispered stories, tales of the sleepers that even children don't believe. I know you were drawn to the flame sky, but some doors are locked for a reason. I can't see. Why can't I see? Hello? Is anyone there? Wake up, River. Wake up! You're in a dream. Just wake up, please. Just wake up. I need help. I can't feel my arms and legs. I can't feel my body. I don't have a body. Help! It's okay. Just think this through. It's okay. Just figure this out. The last thing was, I heard a voice calling my name. One voice, but many voices. The siege is over. The siege? It's been over for 1,000 years, more. What's the last thing you remember? There was a voice. had to know. I had to look deeper, go deeper. Stupid, stupid. I was startled. I dropped my dreamstone. My dreamstone. They're reaching through. It was Sky that got me started. We were sitting on the ridge looking down at the city, and she asked me a question so simple. It had never occurred to me. Why did Father have to fight? Why did he have to leave us? I should have gone instead. I laughed. Her eyes were so bright, she thought she could take on the rebel lords by herself. This tiny girl. This girl who could flatten a tree with one giant stone fist. If you have the power to stop injustice and suffering and don't use it, you've lost your humanity. Why did fathers and sons have to go and fight and die, to be shot by rebel arrows, or poisoned with red fever, or drowned in the swamps of the Reaches? Or smash the gates of the Iron Row and release all the prisoners of war. Maybe Scratch was there, waiting to be set free. A dozen golems could march through their armies and snatch the rebel lords from their war tents. Easy as dreaming. Why stop with the rebel lords? The king and his wardens are just as bad and deserve the same. It was their fault. Sealed in their tombs, dreaming. Dead. They could have stopped it. Should have stopped all of it. I wonder how long it was. How long they slept. How long they shut out the world. How long before they went mad? Trapped in their urns, turned in on themselves. Sky. I have to find a way out of here. But they don't have dreamstones. They're lost, caught by their dreams. And now I am too. I just needed a few of their dreamstones. Just enough for my plan.
Alright guys, these last few collectibles right here are going to be all there is for all the collectibles in Golem. That's it, all 200 of them. We got them. I'm going to go ahead and do the outro right now, because I don't want to talk over these last couple echoes we pick up right here. So, I hope this helped you out. I hope you enjoyed Golem as much as I did, because I freaking loved it. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I didn't believe the rhymes. I knew better. But I really did wake the sleepers. Now they know. The siege is over. There's no one out there that can stop them. And all they need is a bridge through the barrier. A bridge made by a dreamstone. And they know just where to go.